Alpine's driver management has received criticism once more following the appointment of Franco Colapinto as their reserve driver for 2025. Jack Doohan's future is now unclear, but according to reports, he only has 6 races to prove his worth, and if it's not deemed enough, Colapinto goes in. Is this another Flavio Briatore scandal special? It certainly seems like it. So, what's going on at Alpine, and what is there to expect for Doohan, Colapinto, and perhaps even Gasly? The recent announcement of Franco Colapinto's move to Alpine from Williams has renewed criticism of the team's driver management, especially on the returned Flavio Briatore. For Jack Doohan, a young talent with F1 ambitions, the move signifies a change, throwing a cloud over his career before it has a chance to take off during the 2025 season. Colapinto's journey to Alpine was dramatic. The 21-year-old Argentinian made an unexpected move to Formula One during his rookie Formula 2 season, when Williams called him in to replace Logan Sargent at the Italian Grand Prix. His initial performances earned him points in only his second race. Despite only competing in 9 Grand Prix, he constantly exceeded expectations. However, his late-season crashes deflated some of the buzz around him, prompting Red Bull to reduce their interest. Alpine's tenacity, aided by Colapinto's commercial appeal and Argentine sponsorship, resulted in him signing a multi-year contract as a test and reserve driver, all by the hand of Flavio Briatore, who is not shy to do the unimaginable and sometimes even cruel. The choice has enhanced not only the French team's skill pool, but also Doohan's level of uncertainty. Doohan was already under pressure after a difficult Abu Dhabi Grand Prix debut. Filling in replacing Esteban Ocon, he struggled, qualifying last and finishing 15th, while teammate Pierre Gasly scored points in 7th. Alpine executives, particularly Flavio Briatore, have made it clear that Doohan's future with the team will be determined by the results, and it has recently been rumoured he only has 6 races to show these results. Briatore's remarks demonstrate Alpine's straightforward approach to driver performance and management. If there's a driver who isn't making progress, who isn't bringing me results, I change him. This approach emphasizes the fragile foundation of Doohan's short-term race contract. With Colapinto waiting in the wings, he has little room for error. However, a driver can only do so much with a car that does not meet the team's performance expectations. Alpine's driver management history, particularly with young talent, has been contentious. Their lukewarm commitment to Doohan demonstrates a lack of long-term vision for developing rising leaders. Colapinto's entry adds another layer to this dynamic, potentially indicating a revolving door approach in which drivers are brought in and out based on short-term success rather than constant progress. Unfortunately, their mistreatment does not end there. Ocon, a regular face for the Enstone-based team from 2020 to 2024, was subjected to his fair share of maltreatment, particularly in his final year with the team that brought him back to the F1 grid. Following a collision with colleague Pierre Gasly in Monaco, the team appears to have sided with the latter, as Ocon announced his departure for Haas. The disparity between the two cars led many, including Ocon, to believe the other garage had access to performance that they lacked. Doohan replaced Ocon in the last Grand Prix. This was supposed to be a long-term investment, but it now appears premature. It also represents another failure in Alpine's driver management. The hiring of Colapinto and the uncertainty surrounding Doohan highlight a bigger trend in Formula One. Sentiment is overlooked in favor of instant results, which can be difficult to negotiate if you are not a top team. While this results-driven attitude reflects the sport's enormous stakes, it calls into question how drivers are treated, especially those who may need time to find their footing, especially if they are newcomers. For Doohan, the stakes are obvious. With his future at Alpine reliant on early results, his ability to adapt and deliver under extreme pressure will determine whether he becomes a regular in F1 or another casualty of Alpine's strategy. Franco Colapinto's move to Alpine exemplifies the team's talent acquisition strategy. However, it comes at a high cost for Jack Doohan's future prospects. In a sport where young drivers are expected to generate rapid results, Alpine's driver management policy raises serious concerns about its fairness and long-term viability. As the 2025 season approaches, all eyes will be on Doohan to see if he can handle the strain, or if Colapinto will be next in line to take his spot, and it looks like he'll only have 6 races to prove his worth. But according to many, Doohan's fate seems to be sealed already, as Colapinto's entry says enough. And if the signing of him hasn't proved to you already that he's going to be in the car soon, his contract will. As according to reports, Flavio Briatore has negotiated with Williams boss James Vowles to obtain the services of the F1 2024 newcomer on a 5-year contract. Colapinto will thus be available on the bench if Alpine requires a substitution or replacement for Pierre Gasly or Jack Doohan. Doohan, the Australian rookie, has been the subject of conjecture that his contract with Alpine will be constantly reviewed, and that he will be under pressure to produce immediately if he wants to finish the season. Catarineu, Colapinto's manager, spoke about how discussions with Alpine went, revealing that she preferred not to talk with the media during the closing weeks of the season, as rumours regarding Colapinto lingered. Briatore was interested in Colapinto, so she recounted how the two parties came to an agreement. It took a long time because negotiations are sometimes complex, as in this case. But Flavio was always very persistent, and in the last few weeks he was very intense, she said. Colapinto is set to begin work at the Enstone-based squad in the coming days, where he'll be kept busy with a simulator duty and a TPC, testing of previous cars, program, all while being prepared to step into a cockpit vacancy if one arises. The agreement came about because both parties got what they wanted. Flavio was able to sign Franco, and James was able to give him the chance to race. Because at Williams, their regular drivers are on long-term contracts, Catarineu said. Briatore has seen Franco since he made his F1 debut. The day we first chatted, he said, "I've seen talent, and I want him." He followed all the races closely, and how he evolved as an F1 driver in the 9 Grand Prix he was able to race. Catarineu further stated that Briatore had always had Colapinto in mind, and, at all costs, wanted him on board. Briatore was also keen to join Colapinto's team as a manager, but Catarineu and Campbell Walter preferred to remain as his advocates. "It's the best thing for everyone that Jamie and I are still in charge of Franco, and more on a day-to-day basis. Obviously, Flavio will be aware of everything that happens. This is teamwork," she said. Alpine is expected to handle Colapinto's contractual rights on a 5-year term, as Catarineu stated. Williams gave Franco to Alpine for 5 years, she explained. However, the transaction is not understood to be on a loan basis, with Williams having first dibs on buying back the Argentinian following the 5-year contract. "I understand that, if another team appears interested in Franco, within that period, I guess it would be a negotiation between Alpine and the other team." Colapinto's growing sponsorship backing further increased his appeal to Briatore, and his signing had an immediate impact on Alpine's social media channels, with the follower count climbing from 2.6 to 4.1 million. Briatore is claimed to be forecasting a Formula One career of at least 15 years, with Colapinto's talent, ability, media interest, and a massive sponsorship roster all contributing to his desire. For these reasons, Alpine having agreed to such a long contract, 5 years for a relatively unknown rookie, implies Briatore has a lot of faith in Colapinto's qualities and Alpine's ability to maximize his potential. However, it wasn't all rosy, according to Catarineu, who claimed that she and Campbell Walter had to deal with some online hatred because it looked Colapinto's early promise would not result in an opportunity. The key concern for F1 2025 is whether Colapinto will have a chance to race. His greatest chance appears to be if Doohan fails to hit the ground running for the Enstone-based outfit. But when asked if she believes her driver will get the opportunity, Catarineu was evasive. "I'm not going to say what I feel," she responded, smiling. "It seems to be written in the stars that Colapinto will drive next year, unfortunately at the cost of Doohan. But if he's underperforming, it makes sense. If he isn't, and he's still replaced, it'll be seen as yet another Briatore special. So what do you think? Will Colapinto drive next year? And will it be after 6 races? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below.